You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik, a show to help professional moms in survival mode to take hold of their lives and thrive. If you're ready to take powerful action to create your best life, then this is the show for you. I'm your host, Dr. Prianca Naik, board-certified internal medicine physician and certified life coach. Now let's get to it and dive in. You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, episode number 58. Well, hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am so happy to have you listening to my podcast right here, right now. I know your time is so precious, and I'm grateful that you are listening to what I have to say. And so I wanted to actually tell you a little bit about what's going on inside my program. One of my clients, Sarah, was telling me that before we started working together, she was struggling and really struggling with work-life balance, balancing everything and feeling like she was drowning. And I know you can probably relate to this because I myself was there too before I found coaching. But after coaching with me, she really found balance in her career as a doctor and as a mom to 3 young children. And with the streamlined tools that she learned in my program, she was really able to manage stress and anxiety with ease and really find peace of mind, learning to be confident in her decision making and really saying no to unnecessary projects and people pleasing, which I'm sure you can acknowledge is probably something that you're dealing with as well. So the work we are doing here inside my coaching program, Overcome Burnout for Good, it's really not time intensive. And clients like Sarah report being out of burnout and truly creating the life that they want for themselves. So if it's possible for Sarah and my clients, it is definitely possible for you. To learn more, join my free on-demand masterclass to ending burnout and exhaustion and finally getting your peace of mind back. The link will be in the show notes. So let's dive into part 2 of the How to Be Less Tired series. Some simple things you can do to be less tired are engaging in a morning routine. So that can look different for everyone. If you have very minimal time, it can be as simple as savoring your morning cup of coffee, doing a quick meditation, being present and mindful when you're brushing your teeth, enjoying your shower. I know that's not really self-care because that's a necessity, but really you can keep it very simple, your morning routine. You could also make it elaborate where you're working out or doing calisthenics, whatever makes you happy. Maybe you wake up an extra 5 minutes early to read, but doing something like having that routine will really help you feel more energized and less exhausted. And for me, my morning routine consists of I get up, often I savor my morning cup of coffee. I will have breakfast with my children. They take turns sitting on my lap because they're really young, and I enjoy that time connecting with them. And then when they're out the door, I will either get some work done or read or meditate and so on and so forth. Another way to energize yourself is working out, and you can keep it really simple. You can do a 5-minute workout. You don't have to go to the gym. If you have a Peloton, which you very well may, you can do, let's say, a 10-minute workout through the app or on your bike. You could go to bed in your gym clothes so that you wake up ready to roll. Or if that's gross, you could keep your gym clothes by the bed so you just throw them on and get moving. Taking a quick walk will always kind of put a pep in your step. The faster, the better. Gets the endorphins going, and that will really also energize you. Another way to feel energized and less tired is to really be in nature. And that could be really simple, like going to a park, or if you have a little bit more time, is there a way to get to the beach? Are you able to plan a vacation where you can get to nature if it's not within your reach? But being outside, enjoying the fresh air, feeling the sun on your face if it's a sunny day, enjoying just the wind blowing on your face. It's one of the most beautiful things. For me, I love being near the ocean and the ocean wind or just the breeze, and you can feel and smell the ocean air. Oh, there's nothing like it. And it's so energizing. Another really basic thing to do, it's a lot easier said than done, is practicing good sleep hygiene. And that includes limiting screen time before you go to bed, really trying to make sure you get a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. You want to have some sort of relaxation routine, minimize alcohol intake, minimize caffeine intake, and really be mindful of getting a good night's sleep, because I think that is one of the most restorative, most important elements of our mental health. It's so important to get good sleep so that our brain can get rest and we can really handle day-to-day and maybe even larger stresses. When our children don't sleep, they can be cranky, and really the same goes for adults. So really keep that in mind. And if that's problematic, is there a way you can catch a quick power nap or a nap at any time? And maybe that's not practical, but really figuring out how you can rearrange your schedule a bit to get good sleep on a regular basis. And that will make all the difference. Meditating will create peace. It will help you learn how to be mindful if you practice mindfulness meditation, and it truly is energizing. You won't feel tired. Another way to not feel tired is to ditch perfectionism. It's exhausting because to be human is to err. We're never going to be perfect. So we literally just have to realize that perfectionism is to our own detriment. And the sooner we can really embrace our humanness and not being perfect, the sooner we can be energized, less tired, and happy. It's very draining trying to be perfect all the time. So honestly, don't bother. And if you want to learn more about that, book a call with me and I can truly teach you how to really dive deeper into some of these methods, because perfectionism is a tough one. It takes time and a little bit of effort. And eventually you do really learn to let things go. And letting go is yet another way we can be less tired. We can be energized by letting stuff go, stuff that doesn't matter, especially stuff that's not life or death. You really just have to let it go, because we all know this, the to-do list, it keeps on growing. It doesn't really matter often in the scheme of things. Everything gets done and we're taking life too seriously and we're exhausting ourselves and creating our own personal exhaustion and our own personal hell. So literally just practicing letting go all the time will free up so much brain space, make you feel less exhausted. So try that. Another thing that really came to my mind when I was thinking about this episode is trying new things. And they actually say that it's a tip. I believe maybe the Gottman Institute said this, but it is a tip in keeping your relationship fresh too, is doing new things with your partners. So similarly with yourself, if you try new things or, do something you've never done before, it can be really rejuvenating and put a pep in your step and really energize you, and you're going to feel less tired. I felt this way the other day, actually, over the weekend. I felt a little bit tired in the morning, and my kids and I went outside and I played music and I was blowing bubbles. And honestly, I enjoyed blowing bubbles way more than they did. I think they got bored. And that's when they started playing with boxes and, using their imagination, which was cute. But I continued to blow the bubbles. But it's just something I don't do every day. I don't blow bubbles every day. And there's something really whimsical and cute about that. And it's really easy to do. And that definitely made me happy and gave me a little bit of energy. One other practice that will help you feel less tired, be more happy, and this is a proven method. It gets talked about a lot. Hopefully this isn't the first time you've heard this, but gratitude practice is so important. And we really have to brainstorm a few things every day that we're grateful for and how they make us happy. Because if we do that, we really can see things a little bit more glass half full and have a happier perspective. But also when you feel that way and you're grateful for the things in your life, that is energizing, and it's not draining to think about how beautiful your life might be. And so I even do this with my 5-year-old son. We've been doing it since he was 2.5. And actually my baby is 2 and a few months. And I'm starting to do it with her also, because I think it's just really a great habit for them to celebrate their lives instead of focusing on the negative, which is something that we all do as humans because it's a survival mechanism. And now that we're not foraging in the forest anymore, it's not as useful. So we often just tend to be more negative, and that can lead to depression, anxiety, being exhausted. And so practicing gratitude is a simple and effective way to boost happiness, increase energy, and decrease that feeling of exhaustion. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention is a little bit more complicated of a way to be less tired. So listen up. You make a list of things that drain your energy. So energy draining things, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, it's the things that deplete you. Maybe there's somebody who is always complaining, they're never happy, and you're talking to them all the time. Does that drain you? Do you need to limit that amount of time so that it's no longer draining you? But if you can't even think of what is draining my energy, which hopefully you can think of a list of things, but if you don't know, take some time to actually assess this. And if you don't have time, take some time to yourself, take a little bit of time off work even, take a half day off. I'm serious, and take some time, because it's really easy to live your life on autopilot if you're not taking time and space for yourself. So just a little bit of time, like kid-free time, work-free time, can create so much clarity. You just let it in and see what comes up. And you might be able to figure out at that point, what is getting in your way? What is draining you? So once you make that list, go through each thing and ask yourself if it is actually draining, or is it the way you think about it? So is the actual circumstance, is it draining, or is it just how you are approaching it, how you think about it in your mind? If it truly is draining, figure out how you can reduce it in your life or remove it in your life or change the circumstance. But if it's the way you think about it, then acknowledge that you're thinking about it in a certain way, and maybe that's not helping you, right? So awareness is the first step in this work. Once you're aware, then you get to decide to see things differently. So that's actually a little bit more complex than the previous items on this list of how to be less tired, be less exhausted, and more energized. But this definitely works. And if you need some help, hop on a call with me, Prianca Naik, mdcoaching.as.me, where we can chat more. And I would love to talk to you and really help you get out of burnout, be no longer exhausted, create your best life, the life of your dreams, because it is possible for you, just like it has been for my clients and me. Prianca Naik, mdcoaching.as.me. Book a consultation call. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Prianca Naik. If you are ready to get unstuck and out of survival mode to live your best life, I want to invite you to book a free 30-minute consultation call with me. To get started, visit priyankanaikmdcoaching.as.me. Link in the show notes.